So most people think the United States plays little or no part in Bible prophecy. I think the United States plays a major part in Bible prophecy. Now, before I make the next video, I really want to make sure everybody understands the second beast from Revelation. So let's dive in. Then I saw another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb and spoke like a dragon. That's Revelation chapter 13, verse 11. Now, in part one of my video on the mark of the beast, we identified the first beast, and we learned that a beast represents a king or kingdom or political power. We also learned that horns represent kings, kingdoms, or a power. Also, something I need to mention, waters represent populated areas, people, multitude, and nations. You can read that in Revelation chapter 17, verse 15. So, now the first beast was coming out of the sea, and we identified the first beast as being papal Rome. We know that the sea represents multitudes, nations, people, and populated areas. The beast in the verse that I just read came up out of the earth. Let's read that verse again. Then I saw another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb and spoke like a dragon. So, this beast came up out of the earth. That is opposite of the sea. So this beast is coming out of an area that is sparsely populated or relatively unpopulated, as opposed to a densely populated area. This beast had two horns. It was a lamb-like beast and spoke like a dragon. Like a lamb tells us that this nation would have lamb-like or Christian-like attributes. Now, what is a lamb a representation of in the Bible? Biblically, a lamb is a representation of Christ. There's a secondary representation. A lamb is a baby sheep. So this nation would be a newly rising nation. This verse gives us a pretty simple description of the horns, like a lamb, and shows that the power of the horns symbolized a youthful and innocent and a gentle nation at its beginning. Notice that its two horns don't have any crowns like the first beast in Revelation. And that's Revelation 13:1. So the beast of Revelation 13:1 has crowns. This beast doesn't have any crowns. Crowns represents kings and kingdoms. In Revelation 13:11, we see a new nation with lamb-like or Christian attributes rising out of a sparsely populated area, led by a crownless government, which means it's not ruled by kings. Are the pieces of the puzzle starting to come together? Here's where it gets interesting. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 and 17. What we just read is that this new nation that is not ruled by kings is going to become a superpower at the end of time. The unfortunate part about this is that Revelation chapter 13, verse 11 says this lamb, like beast, spoke like a dragon. What is a dragon a representation of in the Bible? Well, let's see. Revelation chapter 12, verse 9. So that great dragon was cast out, that serpent of old, called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was cast to the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Okay, so this lamb-like beast speaks like Satan. And he exercises all the authority of the first beast in his presence, and causes the earth and those who dwell in it to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Now, from the last video, we learned that the first beast received a deadly wound in 1798 in Revelation chapter 13:12. So let's recap. This beast comes from a relatively unpopulated area. This beast has two horns. Unlike the first beast, it doesn't have any crowns. So it's not ruled by kings. It's a lamb-like beast, and it speaks like a dragon. So it's a Christian-like entity. It has Christian-like features. And just like a lamb is a baby sheep, it's a new nation, but it speaks like a dragon. What does this beast sound like? What nation was coming up when the first beast received its deadly wound? Remember, in my video identifying the first beast, we learned that the papacy received its wound in 1798. What new Christian-like nation was on the rise in 1798? Family, this is the United States of America. Prophecy tells us the United States will become a major superpower in the end of time. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand and on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except the one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. I would say that's a pretty powerful nation. Causes all, small and great, rich and poor, to worship the beast. The word all emphasizes its global influence. Causes all to worship. The United States is arguably already a superpower. Prophecy tells us the United States is going to start speaking like a dragon. The United States is going to join hands with Papal Rome. This is what's going to happen before the second coming of Christ. Prophecy is 100% correct at the time. Revelation 13:15. He was granted power to give breath to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. This will be like the Holocaust on steroids. This is going to be worldwide. Now, I still have to record the video on what the actual mark of the beast is, and I'm going to record that video next. But I didn't want to make that video until revealing the other beast of Revelation. In the next video, I'll go into much greater detail about the role of the United States in Bible prophecy. And for those of you who don't know, I'll talk about exactly what the mark of the beast is. So thanks for watching.